As we know, the Nigerian fashion industry has grown tremendously in the last couple of years. It's almost amazing to see how much we've gained exposure, both in Nigeria and outside of Nigeria. It's actually worth, well, according to some statistics, it's worth billions of dollars. But it's interesting to note that very little is done to actually protect IP, well, actually to protect the industry. As we know, the fashion industry really is about making things, being very, innovative as well, and that's exactly what the law seeks to provide. So I'll just give you a brief overview of what IP is. So IP is an intangible asset. It's almost invaluable, and it's like property. So it can be bought, it can be sold, it can be destroyed, it can be transferred. And it aims to give protection to your work. So your designs, your logos, anything that you have thought about, anything that requires your mental labor, that's what IP protects. Okay, so in Nigeria we have 4 main forms of IP that I think would be worth knowing about. The first one is a patent. So a patent gives its owner the right to protect itself from third-party use, and it deals mainly with some sort of invention. So it has to have some kind of technical function to it. I'll go into a bit of detail later. Trademarks. A trademark is a word, it's a phrase, it's your logo, it's your slogan, anything that sort of sets you apart from the next person is your trademark. Copyright grants the creator of an original work the exclusive right to use and distribute for a period of time. So copyright deals mainly with pieces of art, textile designs, prints, and things like that. Design rights, which I think is probably the most applicable to everyone here in this room. Registered design, it protects two-dimensional patterns. Your lines, your colors, basically the general look of your outfit, the general look of a piece of work. That's what design protects. So a patent, they're not very common in Nigeria, and they're also not very common in the fashion industry in Nigeria. But some very good examples are your typical zipper or Velcro. They're actually very popular in the lingerie department. I'll give an example in the next slide. So I'm sure a few of us here are familiar with Victoria's Secret. A couple of years ago, they came up with this interesting bra. Sorry to the men here, but please bear with us. They came up with a bra that women could wear in different ways. So you could wear it as a crossbody, you could wear it strapless or one strap. And you know, it was a very good product, very successful. But what we didn't know was a couple of years prior to that, there was a lady called Catherine Pugh. She had the patent on the left. As you can see, there's so many figures and everything around, because when you're registering a patent, it has to be very specific. She had registered that patent, and she had approached them, Victoria's Secret, I mean, she had approached them asking them for financing because she couldn't afford to mass produce. And they turned her down, and only for her to be walking down the high street one day, and she saw her bra in the window. So of course she sued them for patent infringement, and they settled out of court for an undisclosed amount. Safe to say she's balling seriously right now. She made a lot of money from that. Okay, so, and this is also a very popular one, the Birkin. The Birkin is probably the victim of a lot of copying and counterfeit. But they have also gone after quite a lot of counterfeiting websites as well, and websites as well. They've registered the pattern of their bag, they've registered the design, they've registered the shape. So anyone that copies that, they can go after them in court and out of court as well. So a trademark, this is probably the most common. I'm sure everyone here has probably heard of a trademark. It's more applicable to us than patents here in Nigeria. And as I said, you can protect your logo, you can protect a slogan, you can protect a color. Two marks that I know that have been registered at the trademarks registry here in Nigeria, Larry da Silva, House of Diola as well. They're very particular about their brands, so they ensure that they register these things so that no one out there thinks that maybe if you produce something that's not an LDA product and you put an LDA logo on it, part of why you have a trademark is it sets you apart from someone else. So I should be able to see a dress and know that, oh, that's a Larry da Silva piece, or that's a Joe by Lisa piece. In Nigeria, anything you put on paper automatically, so even if it's a sketch, or it's a drawing, or it's a piece of art, it attracts automatic copyright. But as with everything in Nigeria, it's always better to give yourself that added level of protection by taking it to the Nigerian Copyright Commission to get it registered. So if you sketch something, it's always advisable, I always advise my clients to date their sketches and to catalog them. So the date is very important. If you do end up going to court for whatever reason, if you feel that the letters haven't worked, the injunctions haven't worked, or anything else really hasn't worked, these are sort of the remedies that are available to you. So the court can ask that the infringing person will pay you damage. Licensing agreement, is it very well thought out? Does it have all the key elements? So the fee, the term, the exclusivity or otherwise, is it just within Nigeria or is it outside of Nigeria? These are things that need to be in your agreement. Also, do you have a core design? Now, I should emphasize that it's very easy to say you can register your design or your pattern, but it can be a bit expensive because fashion trends change every season, obviously, every couple of months. But if you have a core pattern, like a core design, something as famous as the Birkin band, for example, that keeps coming back season after season, when you have something that sets you apart like that, or something that you're famous for, it's always worth, or something that you think you'll be famous for, it's always worth registering that design. So I'm not saying go and register every design in everything that you make, but if you can have a gift of foresight almost, and you think that this is something that is going to set you apart and probably your bread and butter, I would advise registering it at the IP office. And also remember once again to keep it confidential. Okay, so just conclusion, always seek legal advice. I know we lawyers have the impression of being very expensive, but that's not always the case. If you fail to enforce your rights, you may lose them. Different logos and trademarks, for example, have been cancelled at the Trademarks Registry due to non-use. So even if you register a trademark, it's not enough. You need to continuously use it, or even a design, or even a patent. You have to continue to use it. And lastly, if you think your rights have been infringed, take action immediately. Send out that letter and get your rights protected as soon as possible. So I think that's it. If anyone has any questions.